Well guys, check out my new excavator. Now I know you might be thinking, Jaden, you just fixed up that other excavator. What are you doing getting another one? Well, this was one of those times where the deal was just too good and I couldn't pass it up. Now I know you guys remember we just fixed up that Bobcat, we fixed the motor, fixed it all up, got it working again, and it was surplus to my needs being a wheeled skid steer. So I put it up on Marketplace for well under what they were going for. And a guy reached out to me and said, hey, would you swap for an excavator? And I was like, oh, yeah, maybe. So I raced out, had a look at it. It was overall pretty good. And meaning I had a quick look at it. I didn't spend hours or anything. But yeah, we did the deal. He dropped it off a couple days ago. So let's check it out. So it's a 2008 Yanmar VO35. 35 meaning 3.5 ton. It's just got under 5,500 hours. It has an elite quick hitch on it. It came with the 3 buckets, 1 mud bucket and 2 digging buckets. And just from moving it out the front to where it is now, it's still a nice tight machine. All the controls are really responsive. The engine runs really good. It tracks straight. Overall, it's pretty good. It is a little faded and a little rusty in the paint. However, as you can probably already tell, the tracks are extremely low. They are really rough looking as well. So we'll probably have to put tracks on it fairly soon, but I'm hoping I can get a few hours out of it. Now, I want to give it a good go over in this video, check over the whole thing, change out all the fluids, all the filters. And while we're doing that, it's got a few issues we're going to have to address. As it's been sitting here, I have moved it, but since I've moved it back, it does develop a little bit of a drip here. Like if I leave it, I've had it 3 days now, and sitting for those 2 days, it sort of gets a fair bit of a puddle here. So we've got some kind of a hydraulic leak here we're going to have to fix. The high speed for the tracks doesn't work. I'm told by the previous owner it's just a fuse, but it's never really that simple. If they haven't put a fuse in it, obviously there's something else that's wrong with it. And this front cylinder here is leaking, so I want to pull that apart, put all new seals in it, and I just want to double check that top one isn't. It looks wet, but that might be just from grease flicking back at it. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty happy with it so far. I think down the track, if it turns out to be a nice machine, I think I'm going to get a professional in to paint it just to make it all nice and pretty again. And just one thing I want to point out, with that other 3-ton machine I have, this has a massive blade on it compared to that. That's like inch thick steel on this, where that other Cabelco, it's just got a couple bits of thin steel really, compared to this anyway. Is that seal leaking in there? Oh no. It has got remnants of being greased, which is really good to see. You can see it all hanging out everywhere, which I much prefer it to be over greased than under greased. So I think first up, what we need to do is pull all these covers off. I did have a look in here earlier and it is just full of dirt, because I really want to look at that oil leak before we go changing any oils. I don't want to waste me new oil. I think we'll start with just having a look and seeing if the leak's actually obvious. This isn't... Oh, look at that. I wonder if that's our problem right there. Someone's... I don't know what that line is though. Are they pilot control lines running up? And where's the other end of it? Actually looks a little bit wet right there. I might quickly start it up and just see if it's going to be visible to us, or have we got to go to the effort of washing it all first. definitely looks like it's leaking. Yeah, look at that, it's dripping too. So that fitting. That's our culprit right there. That drips quite badly. You can see it's still dripping there now. Oh. Hopefully this doesn't just leak everywhere. I'm gonna have to undo all those hoses as well. I might get away with just this one. Oh. Might just put that hose back on. It's continuing to drip. With these fittings, as you can see, there's a flat spot on there, if you can see. When you screw these into whatever it is, this in our case it's the pump, if you don't set that nut first, and the O-ring rides up on the thread, it'll never seal. So I've done it myself. You're forever chasing a leak. You'll put O-ring after O-ring and it won't be sealing properly. So you've got to set the height of your nut first, so the O-ring's riding on our actual smooth surface rather than the threads. So half the O-ring's actually all mushed out of this. I might have to clean it up on the buff. So I do have a new O-ring here. It's a little bit bigger than the original, but I think it'll be okay. Bit of grease on it. Now we're going to pull this fitting back off. I left that running for a good 15 minutes and it's still dry to the touch, so I'm pretty confident that's fixed. I was a little bit worried about that oil leak, because when I went and looked at the machine, it didn't have any oil leaks, and then when it was sitting at my place for 2 days, it developed a leak like this. So I'm glad it was such a simple fix. Now I think we'll give it a good wash out, and we're going to have to try and chase down where the other end of this line is, because I had a bit of a look off camera and I can't see it. And as you can see, it is filthy in there. So I think we'll better pull off all these bottom covers and maybe even all these side covers, and just give it a good wash out with the steam cleaner, and then hopefully it pops up there. Have to spin it around a little bit more. Look at all the dirt. Glad we're washing it. Look at all that. That's nuts. That's all dirt. One thing I did know about this machine is this, how it's rusted out through here, like it's really bad through there. Now that's only very thin sheet metal, and because when the roll bar's on it, there's a big, like a 200 mil high, like steel front guard you'd call it. So I'd say dirt has just piled up over the years, and that's why that's rusted out. But I have ordered another one of those, but there was about a 2-month wait on it. It looks like a completely different machine in here now. I can't believe how much dirt was in it. What's nice is now that I've blasted it with water, you can see all our joints in here has got grease fittings everywhere, which is really nice. So once we're finished washing it, we'll have to go around and give all these points a nice greasing. So I let this thing dry out for the last 3-4 days. As you can see, the ground is nice and dry again. We had a few really nice sunny days, which helped drying out all the water inside the excavator. Now, before we go putting all the covers on, I just want to work out what the issue is with our high speed here. I can almost guarantee the problem is going to be that switch in there. Now, when you click the high speed lever like that, it is meant to push on that little switch in there, but that switch isn't even touching it, and I can't push it in, nor can I pull it out, and it looks fairly rusty when you look at it. So what I reckon's happened is one day they've gone to press the high speed lever on it, that switch in there has seized up and it was stuck in high speed mode, so they've pulled the fuse out so they can go back to normal travel, because that's where all your power is. So what I reckon we'll do, we'll use the blade of the excavator and the bucket, we'll lift the tracks in the air, I'll get a jumper wire, and then we'll just touch that jumper wire as we're holding the sticks forward, just to make sure everything's working as it should, because I don't want to go buying a switch if that's not the problem. But again, I could almost guarantee it is. So I just went and made up this jumper wire quickly, which just a couple of spade terminals. And now what we'll do, as I'm pushing the sticks forward, I'm gonna try and pretty much hold that on and pull it off and on, sort of, you get the idea. But the last thing we've got to do is put the fuse back in, and which fuse are we looking at? Which I think it's C. C is our horn, headlight, oh yep, high speed travel. So I think, what's our bottom one here? Yep, I think we can steal that one, if I can get it out, and put that in like so. So we should be ready to go now. So I'll start it up and let's see if the high speed's going to work. Hear that? That's high speed there, normal speed. Well, as I thought, that switch is bad. So I'm going to go ahead and order a new switch for there, and our high speed will be fixed. I'll just get another fuse out of the shed and put back in there. So I've pulled the foot pedal off and moved the actual pivoting bracket to the side. I'm hoping now I can just slip a 24mm socket in there and undo it without pulling it all off. Well, that surprised me, it come off. Well, there we go. You can see the face of it is seized in there. Surprisingly, as you can see, the threads aren't full of rust, which is what I was sort of thinking in there. I'll just put a little bit of anti-seize on the new one when we get it, or a bit of grease or something. The old one should have pushed in like that. Now when we press the pedal in, it all works. I did actually, before I put this foot pedal in, I put it in the press and straightened it all, so now it doesn't hit on the body. You could see how easy that would get bent up, because obviously you hop on the machine here, when the roll bar's on it, it's got pretty much a bolts on here, so it's right in the firing line of getting bent, but it works really nice now. So let's check if it works. I think what we'll do now is we'll just go through and just grease up all our joints in here. I think that's it, only 4. Whenever you're using one of these grease guns, whether it's manual or electric, you always get greasy when you got to put new grease cartridges on. But check this one out. It's just like a silicone tube. There's a little adapter plate you got to put in the end of your manual, or in this case electric gun, and then you just swap out these screw-on canisters. Like, how good's that? Now the last thing we've got to do is just sort out this pilot control line here. This is for your backhoe controls. I'm not using backhoe controls on this thing, so I'm just going to eliminate that line and cap it off, and that'll be problem solved. My oil filter tool doesn't fit on because it hits the motor. That's how are you meant to get it off? And this isn't even going to fit around it. Oh no, it will. Oh, beautiful. So this excavator's got a fuel pump in it, so you don't have to bleed it up. We do, however, have a bleed nipple on the top of the filter there, which I will crack. But you can see we've just filled up with diesel there. And it's going to be hard to hear, but you can hear it sort of. There we go there. I did the fuel system first because the weather's so bad today. I didn't want to get stuck out here in the rain. As you can see, the ground is just gone muddy as again. I've put down this bit of old carpet just so I'm not walking in the mud. Jesus, they make it tight. You can't even get this on there. I'm gonna have to use the Stilsons again. Scratched me nice new filter. touch more oil, and that'll do. Perfect. Now hose is just completely blocked. I might take this side cover off and just see if I can clean it out a bit better. That's probably how it flows, but I just want to double check, make it easier for down the track if I ever change it again. Well, as you can see, we can't see much because there's that much crap in the bottom. I think at a later date I'm going to have to pull the counterweight off and just give it all a good wash out in the back here. I did all the front, but I didn't think the back was going to be that bad, but I was wrong. That's actually our suction for the hydraulic there, so we're going to have to try and at least wash this part because we're going to replace the filter just there. On another note, the coolant was nice and green. The stuff floating in it, that was what was previously in the bucket, that wasn't in the radiator. But judging by how clean that is, I was gonna pull the thermostat housing off and actually flush the block, but I'm not gonna do that now. I think I'm pretty happy with the color of that coolant. You can even smell it, it's nice and strong, so we'll just top the radiator back up and call it done. I put a new O-ring on this as well. Just gave that a quick clean out. I'll just let that run, warm up, let that thermostat open, let that water circulate a little bit, and then once it cools down, we'll just check it. Well, that's actually kind of cool. It's only got 2 bolts that holds it, and it sort of pivots on this joint down here. I can't open it too much because I'd have to pull this panel off. But at least we have full access in the back now, and I just want to give it a nice wash out as much as we can before I pull that hydraulic line off. All in the front there I did pretty good at washing. It's just in the back here there's a little bit of build up, as you can see. We've made one hell of a mess again, but in here is all nice and spotless. I feel a bit more confident pulling this off now without, that was, well, you saw how bad it was. That was like, I had to get the screwdriver in there to, it was nearly 50 mil thick of crap in the bottom. I'm glad that's done though. Oil is really clean, which is good to see. Just gave this a thorough cleaning. Had a little bit of debris on it, but hopefully this doesn't make too much of a mess. At least the hose is still soft-ish. Oh no. Well, we made a mess. I was honestly hoping it was going to look a little better than that. She's pretty caked up. But if this filter's done its job, none of that debris got through the pump. So right there, I'd say is probably the worst. I don't even know. That actually just feels like dirt. It's not shiny, so it's not metal shavings. There's a bit of stuff on the bottom of the tank. I think that'll do. It's feeling a lot better in there now. So I went and picked up this magnet. I'm going to put that in the tank just to try and collect any metal shavings. I can put that at the bottom. In 1,000 hours time, when we do this filter again, it'll be interesting to see if we get any material on it. A brand new genuine filter. So we're about halfway on the mark. Now we've got to stretch the arm out, close up all the cylinders, and then we'll just see whereabouts the oil level is then. So we got the cylinders closed up as much as we can, even the blade, and we're almost at the top of the red line, which is perfect. think she's been greased in a while. Well, we just got done giving this thing a full service. Now, I was pretty happy with all the old oils that came out of this thing, especially the hydraulic oil that wasn't burnt. It was nice and clean, as you saw. Besides the bit of debris on that suction strainer. But like I said, there wasn't really any metal shavings I could see. It was more dirt and whatnot. Now, I'd say if they've used some auxiliary attachments on the excavator before, if you don't clean those couplers when you put them on, that's where you get the contaminants in. But we're sort of lucky the suction strainer picked them up before putting them through the pump. Now, I also went ahead and just put that magnet in the bottom of the hydraulic tank just to catch any metal flakes or anything that will get in there over its life that I have it. We also went ahead and gave it a nice good greasing. As you saw, I used about 1.5 tubes of grease, so it hasn't had a greasing in a long time, I'd say. Now, before we go putting it back to work, there is a couple other little issues I want to address. One being that front bucket cylinder, which I spoke about at the start of the video. Now, I didn't do that in this video because I'm going to have to pull it out to press the bushing out the end of it. Now that I've had a good go with moving it around the yard and whatnot, the dog bones in this have quite a bit of wear in them, and surprisingly, the bucket pins in it aren't bad at all. It's just really those dog bones and that pin that goes through them, through that cylinder. So I want to just tighten it up while it's here. I've got the machinery to do it, so I might as well do it and make it nice and tight and right again. But the big question is, how much does this owe me now? Now, as I said at the start of the video, I swapped this for that little Bobcat S70 that I got. You saw we fixed it all up. We fixed the motor, we put pins and all that in it, and that ended up owing me about $5,800 or $5,800. Now, the guy with this excavator wanted to do, it wasn't a straight swap, so to do the swap it was an extra $1,000 cash. So this excavator owes me $6,800, which is an absolute bargain. I've got around $1,000 in just servicing it and everything that you saw in this video. So for $7,800, I've got a pretty nice excavator, if you ask me. And once we fix up those pins in the front, I think this will be a real nice machine to have around. It's a lot nicer and a lot newer than that old Cabalco. I have since moved that on, so that's no longer with me anymore. I sold that just recently, and this one is to take its place. So in the next video, I think we'll focus all on that cylinder. I think the blade cylinder is also leaking, so I want to just, it looks like it's weeping a little bit, but again, while it's here and I'd like to fix it, because where this excavator is going to be going, I won't have much tools and all that, and I don't want it to be leaking oil everywhere. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.